So that was one hell of an adventure, huh? Better than the normal school we're used to. That was Team Valvoline's night school in partnership with us, Hooniverse. And the star of the video was, of course, not Tim O'Dell, despite what he says, not me, despite what I think. It was this truck. This is my 1965 Ford F100, and we did things to it. We did a lot of things to it, and we did a lot of things in a short amount of time. We tried to cram a whole lot in what we thought was a long weekend. The plan was to tow the truck up to Tim's house in the Bay Area and do a bunch of things. We pushed it off of a trailer because I needed a new clutch, which we got from Centerforce, and it's awesome. We added a cam because I wanted a lopier idle and just a more aggressive, muscly truck sound. While we were in there, I did the valve seals because this thing likes to spit, blue smoke, and that's not a good thing. There could be other things wrong with the engine, but we'll get into those down the road. So let's dive in and give you a closer look at some of the stuff we've done. So we reused the original headers and just found a way to make them work with the exhaust kit. The headers themselves are ugly, the new exhaust is not, it doesn't matter, they're just headers. So you can see the two MagnaFlow mufflers sitting under there. They come back and then bend and then exit right out the front of the rear wheel. Now, of course, we've also got the new clutch in there, and I can tell you that the pedal feel is now excellent. It's better than it's ever been, and the Centerforce makes one hell of a clutch, and this thing just feels excellent. So it's probably about time you heard this thing, huh? That idle, it sounds mean. The exhaust sounds awesome. I'm very happy here. This truck has a long way to go, but man, this thing is fun to drive, even with all its problems that pop up. I'm pretty happy with this thing. All right, I think it's time we took it for a ride. What do you think? Yeah, of course you agree. One of these days I'm gonna do power steering. For now, this will have to do. Just sounds great. Gone is that real lead sleddy glass packy noise. The cam brings it back a little bit to that actually. And you know, the exhaust though just sounds loud and mean. And if you're just cruising, it's fine. Then when you dip into it, it picks right up. It just sounds great. I'm very happy with the way this truck has turned out. There's a lot left to do, like I said. There's a lot left to do. I want to do power steering. I want to fix the steering. I'd like to address some body issues, not to body shame my truck, not those kind of issues. There's a few spots in the floors that I'd like to take care of. There's some exterior body bits that I'd like to get done. I really need to get that rear roll pan installed. I mean, something like this, you can always keep going unless you're a rich guy and you just throw $50,000 at that. But that's not what this project is about. I bought this truck to have a running, driving project. I wasn't that great at wrenching, I'm still not great at wrenching, but I am learning. That's the point of this thing. And by spending a weekend with my friend Tim, I learned a bit more. Cars and wrenching bring people together. They bring you together with your machine, they bring you together with your friends, like-minded individuals who all share this passion for this thing we call the automobile. There's something special about wrenching on your own car too, because when you fire it up in the morning and you take it to Cars and Coffee on Saturday, or you just hit a canyon road, or you just run to get groceries in it, you feel good knowing that it's running right because of stuff that you've done. Now when it's running wrong, which happens all the time too, you got to deal with that as well, but that's part of the adventure. And you're never going to stop learning. There are things that Tim is learning as we're working on these vehicles. Obviously, I'm learning the entire time. And I hope that by us sharing a little bit of this adventure on this truck, you're learning something as well. Now, we didn't go super in depth in all of these tutorials. but we taught you some basics. I have a few more basic tips that I'm gonna throw up here right now that I hope you get a little bit out of these too. These are tips that we didn't really have time to fit into some of these videos because we were trying to show so much. Here's a little top tip for you. I learned this over the years wrenching on some vehicles with Tim. Get a cheap carabiner and put your wrenches on it. Then they stay nice and neat in your drawer.
All right, so whenever we're using power tools like a grinder, impact wrench, or the Sawzall, what you're gonna want are earplugs so that you do not go deaf. So these are these little foamy guys. You squish them up, roll them up, and then they go in your ear, and they are nice and comfortable, and then you will actually be able to hear when you're an old man someday.
What?
So we cleaned up our giant spill using our oil dry stuff. This stuff you can actually reuse a couple of times. You can use it basically until it stops soaking up oil. This whole pile, given the size of our spill, this stuff is done. But in general, you can use most of this stuff about 3 or 4 times, which this is about the 4th time I've used this pile of stuff.
So a great tool that Tim has in his cabinet is isopropyl alcohol. This stuff is awesome at cleaning some of these bits. That just took, that looks spotless now, relative, you know, for an engine from forever ago. It just took up all that grease like it was nothing. So you use that to clean the areas where you're gonna apply your gaskets ahead of time, and it cleans it, and it also dries very quickly because it's alcohol. It spreads off. We did so much to this truck in just a few days. Granted, an extra day than we expected, but we still did it. We got it done. You can do this too, and if you're not on a time crunch like we are, just take your time with it. Use YouTube, that's a great resource. Talk to friends that know how to wrench. But whatever you do, just keep learning, keep getting your hands dirty, and have fun. So it's probably time for you to hear this thing. Helps when I connect the battery cable. Idiot.